Okay, learning target 7, summarize categorical data for two categories in two-way frequency tables. So let's first talk about what is a two-way table. A two-way table summarizes data about two categorical variables. Okay, so we will need to know how to both construct a two-way table and use a two-way table to draw conclusions about the results of, say, a survey or um, some sort of uh, data that we've gathered. So here's the first example. Felipe surveyed students at his school. He found that 78 students own a cell phone, and 57 of those students own an MP3 player. There are 13 students that do not own a cell phone, but own an MP3 player. 9 students do not own either device. Construct a two-way table summarizing the data. So, the first thing that we always need to do when constructing a two-way table is decide what are our two variables, or what are our two categorical things that we are studying. So the first thing that we are studying in this survey is if students have a cell phone. That's the first one. The second thing that students were surveyed about is whether they have an MP3 player. Okay, so those are our two categories. You'll choose a direction or a location for each category. It doesn't matter which one goes on the, which one you have as the columns and which as the rows. It doesn't really matter which one you choose or where you put them. But if you decide to put cell phone over here, you need to put all the cell phone data as the rows, and if you choose to put MP3s up here, you need to put all the MP3s as columns. So this is how we've set up this two-way table. Now we need to input the information from the survey into the two-way table. So there were 78 students who own a cell phone, and 57 of those students own an MP3 player. So there are 78 students that own a cell phone. 57 of those own an MP3 player. So that means 57 own both a cell phone and an MP3 player. So I'm going to put that 57 right here where cell phone and MP3 player line up, because 57 students own both. Now 78 total students own a cell phone. Whether or not they have an MP3 player, they own a cell phone. And we've already determined that 57 of those 78 own an MP3 player. So that means the number that don't own an MP3 player has got to be 78 minus the 57, which is 21. So there are 21 students who own a cell phone but no MP3 player, 57 students who own a cell phone and an MP3 player, 78 total students who own a cell phone. Okay. The next part, there are 13 students that do not own a cell phone but own an MP3 player. So that would be no cell phone, MP3 player. 13 students there. And then 9 students do not own either device. So we'll have 9 here where it's you don't own a cell phone and you don't own an MP3 player. So they own neither. So there's a 9 there. Then to total that up, there are 13 plus 9, or 22 total students that do not own a cell phone. Now the last part is to total everything. So our total number of students surveyed would be the total number that own a cell phone plus don't own a cell phone. Those are your only two options. So we'll add those both up, and that goes into our total students surveyed column, or our entry into our table. The total number of students that do not own an MP3 player would be 21 plus 9, which is 30. And our total number of students who do own an MP3 player is 70. And we can check here that the total number of students who own an MP3 player is 70, don't own is 30, so we get that total of 100. Okay, so that's how we construct a two-way table. and use it to summarize some data. Here's another example. The table is already set up and filled out. So in this example, people were surveyed, both male and female were surveyed, and the question was whether they were left-handed or right-handed. So here are the results of the survey, already put into our two-way table. So let's answer these questions. How many females were in this survey? So we can look where it's female. How many total females? There were 25 total females in this survey. How many left-handed males were in the survey? So first we'll look at left-handed, this column, and we'll look at this row since we want to know how many left-handed males. So we'll look at this entry right here, and there were 4 left-handed males surveyed. How many right-handed females were surveyed? We'll go to right-handed, and we'll go down to female and see that there were 20 right-handed females surveyed. How many total people were surveyed? That's where we'll look over here. Okay, so there are 27 males surveyed, 27 females surveyed, 52 total people surveyed. What percentage of all students surveyed are left-handed? Okay, so here's how we can kind of use our data a little bit, and it kind of relates back to learning target, the learning target before this. So we can use this percentage to kind of draw conclusions. What is the percentage of all students surveyed that are left-handed? So our total number of left-handed people is 9 out of the total number of people surveyed, which was 52. So 9 over 52 gives us a percentage of 17.3%. Okay. So before the next class, please complete the table below. So you'll notice there are some missing entries. So it's kind of a puzzle that you have to put together to figure out what goes in these entries. Then once you've completed the table, answer this question below, and we'll draw this conclusion from the survey. So what percentage of all students surveyed have no pets? Okay, so do that for next time.